Hi guys! Yeah, thank you for watching this video. My name is Marjolaine and I'm the one who created the website about Qween Amor. I wanted to have an interview with Qween because I'm really proud of her work and I really like what she does. And I think that Qween could be an inspiration for a lot of people. So that's why I decided to know more about Qween and to let you guys know more about Qween. Qween, thanks for having the time, to take the time actually to have an interview with me. And I just wanted to know if you could tell me a bit about you, where you're from, etc.
My name is Qween. I'm from Florida. I'm a performance artist. I travel around the country and I dance, spreading love and and fighting for what I believe. I'm from Florida. I was born in Miami, raised in Fort Lauderdale, and I went to school in Orlando. And I guess I left Florida when I was 25 to start this journey. So it's been quite the journey. I could tell you about my family life, but it's really depressing. Childhood growing up wasn't all glamorous and glorious. Actually, it was actually quite miserable growing up.
That's interesting. Yeah, I know what it is about the families like that. I know what it is to have a fucked up background. There's another thing I wanted to know because when I first saw your videos, I was like really surprised to see someone like really that flamboyant, someone who's really not shy to show himself and not caring about anybody's opinion. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that will think that you take a lot of drugs to make these performances. And what do you think about that? And does it make it difficult to see that there's not enough people who does what you're doing? What is your opinion, and to be surrounded by judgments like that, what do you feel?
Oh, this is a big question, and actually it has been on my mind a lot. I see a lot of it bothers me a little bit that people see me and they see what I do and the work that I'm doing, and they accuse me of being on drugs, which, I mean, I guess I kinda am. This is Sophia. Sophia. She's beautiful. But I try not to care so much for many someone that might be drugs, which I guess. I think it's kind of depressing in a way that people who are free and people who have liberated themselves and people who have woken up to the shit in this world are accused of drugs. Why does someone have to be on drugs in order to be free? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Does it make it difficult to see that there's not enough people to stand for themselves like you do, and to be surrounded by judgments? I like to think that the only judgment that matters is mine. So, people are entitled to their judgments, and they're entitled to their opinions, and they're entitled to, feel and believe whatever it is that they want about what I do. But I understand why I do what I do. I know, and I'm going to continue to do it, whether people are going to judge or not. You don't want my judgment of the world, because I'm human, and I judge. So I understand, their judge, the judge, I guess, whatever. But I don't have it. It's not difficult for me, I guess, for to like see how people judge it. I mean, I guess maybe it kind of like if I'm reading through comments on my videos, and there's a lot of ugly comments. Like, I guess it does kind of hurt a little bit, but it's not something I can't muster through. But people are allowed to say whatever it is that they want to say, and if I'm going to put myself on a platform that's public, all of my work is done in public, and it's funny because I almost kind of anticipate it. It's gonna come. Might as well, just take the judgment and go with it. Fuck it. I do wish that there were more people in this world, especially in this generation, that were standing up for what they believe in and fighting for their rights. I feel like this generation has put a lot of emphasis on political leaders to make the change for us, and we ourselves are not implementing the change that we want to see in the world. I wish there were more people such as myself who were actively going out and trying to make the world a better place, in however way that they did it. For me, it's dancing and it's art and it's music. But for someone else, it could be another medium, or it could be just being actively engaged in the community. So no, I wish there was more of a presence in our world of that, and there's not.
Well, I do really wish that there's gonna be more people waking up, because I woke up maybe like a few years ago, and still I'm scared of other people's judgment, and that's something I really like in yourself. It's that fuck off other people's judgment, and only my judgment matters. That's something I'm really, really, really working on. And every time I get scared of other people's judgment, really I think about you, and I'm like, okay, if he can do that, I can. Yeah. And it's a fucking free world, or at least we're trying to make it a free world. And I saw that plenty of times you got assaulted or arrested. I saw that video where a guy just punched you in the face like that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that guy is really unhappy with himself to do something like that, and there is way too much hate in that world. It's really frustrating to see people being themselves, right? And just to feel strong, they need violence. We cannot say that America is a free country. We can't really express ourselves like we would like to do. I'm talking about America, but it's like there's a lot of countries like that. Does it stop you sometimes to do what you want to do, or you really want to do it anyways all the time? Do you sometimes feel despair about that, about the lack of freedom?
So I have come across shit. Give me a second. Okay. So I've been assaulted, and I've been arrested many of times for doing what I do. It makes me question like whether or not I really want to do this. And I find myself looking in the mirror all the time, asking myself, is this something I want to continue? You know, or should I do something else with my life? But I've come so far in this, and I want to see how it plays out. You know, it's that curiosity, that desire, that passion that keeps me going. But I've been arrested so many times, and like every time I get arrested, it's really for the music. Which is absurd to me that here in New York I can have my ass hanging out, you know, my tits hanging out. You know, I don't have tits, but you can have her tits hanging out, and it's fine. You know, it's totally fine. It's perfectly legal. I can do what I'm doing, but don't play the music. Don't play the music. Why the fuck not? It's the music is a big part of it, and I don't understand why this world drags me through the dirt and all I'm doing is dancing and playing music. I can't believe that this is something worthy of being crucified over. It's ridiculous. Just the other day, I was doing my show, and this guy comes up and he kicks my bag, and my money went flying everywhere, and that sucked. And there have been many a times where, like, I remember this one time in Boston, this chick, I was dancing, and this chick goes out of her way, buys a bowl of buys like a cup of chili, like it was big. She gets a cup of chili and she tosses it on me while I'm dancing, and it was was really mind blowing to me. But like, I danced anyway, and I continued doing it. And like I showed her that you do whatever you want. I'm still gonna keep doing it, and like that pissed her off more too. That even though she did throw chili on me, I didn't stop, which is what she wanted me to do. And so I almost kind of feel inspired by a lot of the hate that I get, and a lot of the shit that comes flying at me, because it keeps me going. If that makes any sense. I do kind of I do kind of struggle with wanting to continue, but then I think to myself that if I stop because of these assholes, then I'm the one that loses and they win, and fuck that. So in face of all the hate and all the lash that I get, I will continue to do what I'm doing because I love it, and there's not much you can do to stop me.
Well, actually, okay, I'm really in love with the way you're thinking. Everybody needs to be like that. It's impossible that everybody would be like that, but I think that in our society, everybody's too blind and brainwashed by the medias and everything that surrounds us, by the government, and it's sleep, work, metro. That's bad. Everybody wants to be like somebody else, because if not, they're gonna feel rejected. They're too afraid to be themselves. It's too frightening. And that's what I admire about you. That's something very inspiring. And I remember that once you said that it's sometimes difficult to have money for rent, money for food. Is that something that you would consider that would stop you? Or is it something that is just part of the game and you will have to deal with it? Because it will never stop you to live your dreams. How do you consider that? Is that a big issue?
It is difficult sometimes to have money for food or rent. Actually, for a while I haven't even I couch surf a lot, so I don't really pay rent. Sometimes I could do like $75 a week or something like that for the place that I'm crashing. But I don't live a lifestyle that allows me to be able to maintain an apartment, or to even I have crappy credit to begin with. So even if I wanted to get an apartment and sign a lease, I couldn't. Everyone does credit checks nowadays, so like I would not be able to do so. So yeah, sometimes it gets a bit of to be an obstacle. I've had to sleep in parks. I've had to do, I've been homeless for a little bit, and I've had to sleep in like really weird places. A lot of the times though, I'm lucky enough to where I can find shelter, or there's friends that open their doors to me, and I sometimes I'll have a couch or a room or something like that, for a short time. But and I travel a lot too, so I almost don't really need an apartment. I've kind of learned that home is wherever I happen to be at. Like right now, home is on this train. If you understand what I'm saying. I have food stamps, so food doesn't really food's not really an issue. Although the last week of the month it can be kind of rough because my food stamps run out. But I tend to be okay. I don't necessarily. It took a while to get used to, but once I got used to it, it turned out to be okay. But just because I have to struggle a little bit doesn't mean I shouldn't follow my dreams, because I feel like it's already starting to come alive, my dream. So all of the hard work and the struggling and the suffering that I face in order to follow the dream will be totally worth it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how my life turns out.
Yeah, well, that's a long process for you. That's a rough process, and I don't think that everybody could go through that. I don't think I could. But I like the way you live. Like, it's a very nice kind of lifestyle. It's a bit of like a bohemian, like gypsy and stuff like that. I really like that. Does it happen sometimes that people in the street, when they see your shows, they join your adventure? They join you either like in the street or a speech or anything. I mean, some people that realize how free they need to be, and how the world need to be better, and appreciate what you do even. Compared to people who judge you, I guess it's always like more important to see the ones out there who stand up with you. Because if you always think about the ones who judge you, you will get like a burnout or something. So I wanted to know if there's like people out there who support you and do it with you.
There who stand up with you. Okay, so I do know that I get a lot of shit from a lot of people. So I do get negative things thrown at me, but I do, on the majority of the people that I come across during my dance are actually very liberated by it. And I've danced with so many people, and the general reaction to my work is a pretty positive reaction. People dance and they sing with me, and we frolic in the streets, and it's fun, and it makes people happy and it brings them joy, and that's good to know, to see people taking part in. I do wish that it could be bigger, that because I do see the general people who don't join in and people who don't dance. I feel like they want to do it, but they're scared, and I'm not quite sure what they're scared of. I guess maybe they're aware that people are going to judge them, or whatever it is, or they're scared they're going to look stupid. But I have my ass hanging out, no big deal. I don't have I wish I knew how to get people to overcome that fear. I would love to just spark little dance parties everywhere I go. But that means I need, people to actually take the step to overcome their fear and their anxiety about, looking crazy in public, or, just having fun, dancing, having fun, just dance. It's gonna be okay. And it is, I will say though, I probably wouldn't do what I do if the general reaction was a negative. If every time I went out to go dance, I had, people like yelling at me, cursing at me, and like calling me all sorts of things, then, I think I would probably rethink my position, or, do it in a more isolated place. But for me, this is my transcendence, and I get to share it with everybody, so it's worth it. And it's good to see, people come alive because of it.
I love the way you think, seriously. Gandhi, he once said a popular sentence, we always hear it now, be the change you want to see in the world. What kind of change you would like to be, and that you would like to see in the world, what change do you want to become?
I want to live in a world where people are able to be themselves unapologetically. I want to live in a world where people are not being shamed for their bodies. I want to live in a world where we don't fear sexuality but embrace it. I want to live in a world where, people don't have to be scared to be who they are. And the only way I think that what Gandhi said resonates with me very well. I want to live in that kind of world, and that's the kind of change that I want to see, so I'm going to be that change. And, I'm going to embrace my body, I'm going to love my body, I'm going to embrace my sexuality and who I am. And that means that you have to put up blinders to what other people think, because people are always going to have their opinions about you and what you do. And they're entitled to those opinions, as long as you don't let those opinions affect you. What people say about me is none of my business, and I don't care. I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm not going to hide who I am, and I'm not going to hide my light in the darkness because people don't understand, and because people are so consumed with fear and shame and guilt, and that I don't understand. Most of the religions in this world propagate fear, shame, and guilt, which is those three things: fear, fear, shame, and guilt. Those three things are what perpetuate evil on this planet, and self-loathing. And it's our right to be free and to live in a free world. That means I need to personally break through all of the chains that would bind me to living a life of misery and suffering. Hopefully I can, after all is said and done, that, my actions and the work that I've done would have helped to push the world forward into a more liberated consciousness, rather than, being isolated and tied down by fear, and that's all it is. Everything that's wrong with this world is just a fear of it, and it's time to move on. So and also I imagine what kind of person I want to be, later on in life, and being able to imagine who I want to be, I'm able to create that, and to understand that I create who I am, and every step of the way, every choice that I make is an act of creation. And I am, I can be whoever I want to be. And, I will work towards being that person that I envision in my head. And, being the person that I imagine, which I have to say that, the imagination that I have of myself is my best self. And, I want to be the best that I can be. And, continuously go through life working to be that person.
What would be your opinion about the current situation in the world, the human rights? What would you have to say about that?
What human rights? My opinion on human rights in the world, what fucking human rights? We don't have any. People don't have, people are slaves to the system. We're slaves to the dollar. People don't have, people don't have the necessary, inspiration to go out and be free. And, politics in this world does not protect the people. Politics in this world protects the corporations that the people work for. And, I think if we want to talk human rights, then we need to talk about getting ourselves out of economic slavery, which is exactly where we're at right now. Where, in order to live and survive, people need to work really shitty jobs and spend their days in misery just so they can feed themselves. And I think that's ridiculous. We live in a world of abundance, and there's plenty to go around for everybody. There's so much food for everybody, and if money is that medium if money is the medium that we need in order to exchange for food and shelter and all that, then there's plenty of money in this world. It's just being spent on the wrong things. We spend trillions of dollars on war and military defense, and then can't even feed our homeless, can't even house the people. What kind of nonsense is that? That doesn't make any sense to me. So no, I don't think we live in a world that recognizes the rights of people to live a free and decent life, to follow their dreams the way they want. And I think I'm a living example of that, because I've had just to follow this dream that I'm living now, just to be able to dance and to travel the way that I would like to, and to follow my passion. I have to go through being homeless, and I have to go through with, I don't have money for food, or, I don't have a place to sleep at night. And I don't see why anybody has to sacrifice their dreams just so they can have a roof over their head. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
That's quite true, and a lot of times I cannot even think about the human rights we are supposedly having, because it's kind of depressing. I just want to focus on the freedom I'm gonna give myself. I know there's gonna be people who's gonna stop me, people who's gonna try to stop you too, and everybody who wants to live their dreams, there's always gonna be people who's gonna stop us. But we don't have to listen to them, and we just have to focus on priorities, We know you dance a lot in the street, very dressed. I don't know how to ask, but are you using this as a shock value to include in your speech, or that's really just who you really are,
It's both. I remember back in high school and in college, and a lot of my friends can attest to this too. This is just who I am. Running around in my underwear all over the place. I remember going to in college. I remember going to little house parties, and I'd be the first one to just get fucking butt ass naked, running around, fucking all over the place, and cute little speedos. I used to be a stripper down in Johnny's when I was 18, and 19. And I've always had a fascination for being barely naked, being almost completely nude, and I like sexy underwear, and it's funny because I used to go out to the clubs back home, and I dance around the club and the bar, in like a sexy little skimpy Speedo. And like people would really look at me like, what is he doing? Like what? Why? Like, put on some clothes. Like, you don't work here. And I'm like, I'm having fun right now. This is just what I do. Although it did take a little bit of courage for me to like want to do it in public. Only for the last couple years have I been dancing around in public like this. But I would dance like, I would dance and like being naked all the time in, bars and, at home. Like, this is just what I do. This is just me, in the truest sense of the word. But now I'm using it as a way to empower other people to embrace their sexuality. And I do believe that people need to be made comfortable by it. And the only way people are going to be comfortable with this, comfortable with sexuality, and comfortable with their bodies, is to actually be face to face with it and to see it. And you know what? I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm not hurting anybody. Maybe it goes against your religious morals, but honestly, your religious morals don't faze me in the slightest. I have my own morality based out of my own experience in life, and I don't need to follow a significant religion in order to know what's right and what's wrong. I know what's right and what's wrong for my life. Yeah, I can be myself, and I can dance, and I can wear what I want to wear, anywhere, anytime, any place, and it doesn't matter, and I don't really care. I don't think anyone should have to hide who they are anywhere. And I hate I hate those people who sit there and say, oh, there's a time and the place for this. This is public. This is not the time or the place. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Actually, now is the time, and here's the place, and this is where I'm doing it at. And if you don't like it, tough. And I don't. It's just ridiculous. I think a cop approached me the other day, and he wrote me a ticket because, he's like, this belongs in a bar or a nightclub, not on the street. And I'm like, officer, you are a fucking idiot. Dear officer, you are a dumbass. And he was. And I think calling him a dumbass didn't make my situation better. But no, be who you are, live out loud, because you only live once, and this world is miserable. We need to, this world needs a little bit of light. We're gonna give it to them.
I'm gonna ask something I'm pretty sure you never asked yourself that before. Maybe you did. Me, I already know the answer because I'm one of them. But do you think you could be an inspiration to others?
A lot of people tell me that I inspire them, but I don't know if I believe that. I would hope to inspire people to live more authentic lives, and to be who they are unapologetically, and whatever platform they may find inspiration on. I hope that people are inspired, but I guess I don't really see it so much. I don't know. I guess I inspire people. I hope I do. But if I don't, even if I don't inspire people, I still love what I do, and we'll see where it takes me.
Okay, so my last question is, what would you like to achieve in your performances?
Well, I kind of want my art to do the talking. I kind of want it to speak for itself. I'm always a little uncomfortable speaking about what I do, and almost a little, speaking about, God and life and sexuality and all of that, because I feel like I can embrace it and honor it fully by living it, by being an example of it. I would hope that my performances could bring a sense of peace to the planet, and out of the chaos that will ensue because of it. I do hope that people find it within themselves to search for deeper meaning within their lives and themselves, and I hope that I can travel the world and just dance around the globe and show everybody what life is and what love is, and what it is to be free and not scared. I want to hopefully spark a revolution of the self, a revolution that we can all be a part of, and make this world a better place. And there's so many a new generation is coming up, and a generation of kids that need to be inspired and need to have their creativity probed at, and kids need to know that it's okay to express yourself, and kids need to have a platform in which to do so, and the world needs more artists and more teachers and more healers and more spiritualists. The world doesn't need more cashiers. The world doesn't need more bankers. The world doesn't need more jobs. The world needs more people who are willing to go out and be themselves and to create a world we want to live in, rather than allowing corporations to make a choice for us. So I hope that my performances create this sense of self-awakening, this sense of transcendence that we are all capable of. And
so yeah, that's the end of the interview. I really hope that you liked it, and if you wanted to know more about Qween Amor, there's still her Facebook page, or there's the website that I made, and I'm gonna post more videos. And Qween, thanks again and again for accepting this interview, because I think there's more and more and more people that are gonna be inspired by you, and this world needs a lot of people, way more people like that, like you. I'm gonna share this video, this interview, as much as I can, and I hope everybody's gonna post it on their page. And thank you again, Qween, for being such a wonderful human being.
yeah, I love you. Thank you so much for this. Appreciate it.